I don't know. A lot of me became the person that I am, and a lot of my um, outgoingness really was brought out of me from wrestling, which I started at 18. So I was a bit of an outgoing person, but not the most outgoing person in high school and junior high. But boy, when the wrestlers taught me how to be wrestlers and showed me how to start working people and start moving and shaking and cutting promos, like it really came out of me and definitely changed who I was as a human being. So it wasn't necessarily that big in my childhood, but as the years have gone by, it's really come out. And then now, I've turned, I'm 40 years old. I would say in my early 20s and my 20s, I was a bit of an extrovert. Now it's kind of swung the other way, and I keep to myself a little more than I used to.
I used to think I was a huge extrovert, and then this whole lockdown quarantine thing happened, and I've discovered I love staying inside.
Yeah, the best.
It's definitely made me go, I got to upgrade the living situation. And, I know a lot of people have been struggling economically, and that's awful. Luckily, my wife's a nurse, so, we still got some money coming in. But right away, I was like, well, if we're going to be inside all day, we got to upgrade this TV. So went up to a 65-inch.
Whoa.
Life-changing, little life-changing. If you got the means, everybody, you want to upgrade that, because I've got sad news for everyone. I feel like you're going to be inside more than you'd want to be. Hopefully not that long, though. I mean, you and I both, even though we like chilling inside and keeping it low key, we need crowds to form again, right?
Unbelievable. I mean, luckily for me, I signed a contract where I wrestle on national television every single week, and it pays me a contract, and I get paid no matter what. But had I not signed that, I signed that contract in February, and the coronavirus, obviously hit in March. I would have been, in the same ballpark as everybody else. There would have been no money coming in, but luckily I have this job that pays me. So it's very cool. I've been offered gigs, and I know Marty told me the other night he did the Laugh Factory, but I've been offered wrestling shows, and I'm just turning them down because it's just a little like, I do independent wrestling for 21 years, and it was the Wild West of professional wrestling, and which is the coolest, but the Wild West in a pandemic, I don't know how cool that is. So I've been trying to, I'm not taking the gigs because I know I have a check coming in. So,
well, yeah, it's an unnecessary risk at that point. Yeah. I didn't know. So while you're signed to AEW, you could still do like other promotions on the side?
Joe, this was my master plan. That's why I signed, because I could, I've wrestled Friday, Saturday, Sunday my whole life. And now this company that runs Wednesdays on TNT, they were like, yeah, of course you can do whatever you want. And I was like, I've hit the jackpot, like it's like essentially, again, it's like getting a movie with Hannibal and then still being able to do a club. But now obviously your prices are going up because you're in that movie.
Yeah, definitely.
So my prices were going to skyrocket up. My merch was going to move. It was going to be heaven. And now it's all come to a shutdown.
So they could, yeah, I mean, that part sucks, but your pay goes up because the promotions that on the side that you'll do on a Friday or Saturday night, they get to slap that AEW logo on their poster.
That's right. And now, although I like to think I was kind of in the world of wrestling, I was a bit of a not a household name, but a name. But essentially, 1 million people every Wednesday watch us. So, hopefully maybe more people know who I am now because I'm on this television show where it'll bring more people to the shows. That's kind of how that works.
Oh, hell yeah. Dude, I definitely, in the world of wrestling, you are without a doubt a name to me. I mean, I think that's a fact, and I don't think you're, like, that's a stretch to say. The number of times over the course of the last, I've probably known you for close to 10 years now, where I've been out across America and in different situations where I've seen that light blue Star of David Colt shirt. Classic shirt. I've seen it so many different places where it got to the point where if I had texted you every time I saw it, you'd have been annoyed. You'd be like, all right, yeah, man, that's great, thanks. But after a while, it would have been lame that I kept telling you.
Yeah, I always appreciate it, but I understand what you're saying. Yeah, I always like a good goyim who wears that shirt too.
A good what?
Oh, you don't know that one? Goyim?
Goyim, it's what is that, Hebrew for
Christian?
Is that, oh, okay. I don't know goyim.
You'd be a goy for sure. Yeah, it's always great when someone's like, oh, I wore this to my church outing. and everyone's like, what are you doing? And they're like, oh, it's a wrestling shirt. Like, you know, I think people did it on purpose, but I loved it.
Oh, that's great. I like that too, man. It's a great shirt. It's
Thank you.
classic. And then I always seen, like, you know, WWE where that someone would hold a big Colt head.
That's right.
You'd see that in the background all the time, man.
Almost one of the originals, the big Colt head. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, your fan base, I've always been a big fan of the way you, like, you know, you were in the WWE, which, you know, you worked your ass off to get up to. You know, you had an impressive run in other promotions, which is why you got a contract with them. Probably didn't, you know, safe to say it didn't go exactly the way you wanted to.
The worst, Joe. It was the worst.
I mean, you know, I've talked to friends. Like, I remember talking to Brooks Wheelan on a podcast I used to do about sports, and he talked about how SNL was the worst. It was a thing he built up in his mind where it's like, I got this thing I've always wanted. This is going to be amazing. And then it sucked. And you have a similar situation with the WWE.
Well, yeah, well, you know, you and I both did Brooks Wheelan's podcast almost back-to-back weeks where we both talked about being camp counselors and umpires as children.
Yeah, he told me that, yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, you know, I told that to Brooks on the podcast is knowing that those people who left Saturday Night Live that didn't have the best run there, like the Rob Riggles and Jenny Slates, like gave me a lot of hope, because I essentially got to the SNL of professional wrestling and I had the same career as Rob Riggle and Sarah Silverman did there. You know, like no one remembers them from their SNL runs. No one remembers you know, me from my WWE run, but there was a life after, and that gave me a lot of like push. And so I'm grateful for those people. And Brooks is one of those people, because I think Brooks is hilarious. I love his stand up, and you know, I think he has and is going to thrive after his SNL career.
Great dude. Everyone check out his podcast. It's called Entry Level with Brooks Wheelan. Colt and I are on like 2 of the 3 most recent episodes. I think Bill Burr's on his latest one. So it's a nice run there. Yeah.
3 big stars. Hey,